I hate traditions. I actually like. I really if someone came up to my door, knocked on my door, showed me paperwork of like, here, if you sign the dotted line, you can change your name right now. Like, I would change my last name. Like, I don't give a shit about any tradition. I feel like we're so far advanced in society. We're at the turn of a century, and we're following these ideas that we've been doing for so long, and there's zero thought being put into most of them. And I fucking hate it.
I'm gonna back that. I'm gonna back that take, and I say I also dislike tradition because I think tradition is the opposite of change and growth.
Yeah, like I understand. Like, okay, so
Kyle's puffing his chest. He's got feelings.
yeah, so
Give
from
it- give
Kyle's
it-
perspective, I can. Like I can understand the connection of family and stuff like that. But I've been like with other families on Christmas Eve or something like that, and they have like big traditions where it's like everyone has to help out cooking food, but it's a very traditional food and no one really likes it that much. And it's just kind of like everyone has a task that they have to do in order to finish the food, in order to eat the food, and the food's not even that good. It's like really old school style food. But they're all just doing it because it's tradition. Where it's like, why are you guys doing this? Like, I don't know. I'm from a pretty small family and with not many traditions, so maybe I'm just like biased towards that. But I find traditions just bizarre.
So for me, both of you, your parents are together, right?
Y'all are fucked.
Yes.
Mine aren't. No.
No. Okay. So for me, having my parents split up, generally the only time that like kind of the same thing always happens is at Christmas. Because for my dad, National Lampoon's Christmas, we always have that. Whereas we don't always spend every single holiday together, and we never really have we don't have crazy shit like, oh, you gotta lick 3 spoons before you can have stuffing. We're not doing stupid shit like that. But like a tradition of just like getting up, like me and my dad used to get up early before everybody else, sit down, have our hot chocolate with Bailey's before I was allowed it, and watch some TV, wait for the Christmas gifts, and then go from there. Or like for me, I like to make breakfast every Christmas morning. So I'll have my family come over, I'll make a big breakfast, and then we start our day. Just having the little traditions where it just brings the family together, because I don't have a family that really gets together.
I understand the idea of like a tradition as a placeholder for an excuse to have like connection with family members and stuff like that, right? Like doing the same thing over and over, where that's not the actual focal point. That's just the reason to bring people together. Like I totally understand things like that. It makes sense. But yeah, doing things continuously over and over with just like with the pure purpose of doing it only because you've already done it, that just drives me crazy. I think it's slightly related. Actually, it's completely related. The only tradition that I really remember on Christmas from my family was my dad used to wait as long as he possibly could before he would even go out of his room. And I fucking hated it. And like, he was just like, trolling, right?
Yeah.
Like, dad on Christmas, just being lazy. But he would just like, he'd push it.
That one year you like kind of need something, but he's just so stuck on trying to show you guys how long he can stay.
I fucking hated it.
That's a tradition of being an asshole, though. Like, Christmas is like the happiest day of the year, and you're gonna be a dick immediately before you even wake up. You're ruining your kid's Christmas.
I hated it, man.
I understand why you don't like tradition. I would never do anything.
Okay, so to Kyle's credit,
I'd burn down the house. Honestly, I would burn it down.
I'll say not all traditions are made equally. Absolutely, there's definitely a line where some traditions are fun and festive, like Kyle's talking about, and then there's some traditions that they need to amend the law for civil rights. There's some things like that where tradition wasn't such a great idea. So there's a big spectrum. I think generally tradition is bad, just overall, but not specifically to Christmas. I think there's definitely a lot of little traditions, like things you do on Christmas with your family, that are totally chill and kind. I mean, that sounds annoying as shit. I get that.
Yeah, I'm trying to like think of other things that happened in my childhood.
I would say
I'm trying to calm my heartbeat down from thinking of if my family tried to do that to me, of like what might happen.
The other memory I'm remembering now that I'm trying to think of like other things we did around Christmas. This was actually I'm glad I remembered this. But every year my dad would try and trap Santa, so he would go up on the roof. And he would just hang, like, I'm sure he was probably just smoking joints and like drinking beer up on the roof or something like that. But he would just walk around up on the roof and he'd be up there for a while. And it would always be like, this is the year. This is the year I've got the ultimate trap for him. And there's no way he's getting out of it. And it's like, Dad, no, you can't catch Santa. No way. And it was kind of fun to see if he would actually catch him.
That's fucking
Of course
awesome.
he never did.
I'm doing that from now on. That sounds great.
Yeah, it was kind of fun, right?
Just get
So
drunk.
that was fun.
Go smoke on the roof. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
That actually
More than
sounds-
likely, right?
Well,
Like,
that's,
what else
That's
would he be
kind of
doing?
like the Elf on the Shelf shit, like where you're like, oh no, hey, we can't touch the elf. Nobody touched the elf because otherwise his magic's gone. And then in the morning, look, he's up here. He did this crazy thing. How can we believe that happened? And then every kid's like, holy shit, how'd he do it?
See, that I understand that type of tradition because it also has a natural lifespan where it's kind of like the magic is born and then it kind of lives throughout the years and then it kind of has this natural death to it. And then people move on, right? Or kids grow up. But yeah, to be doing like if one specific thing happened once and we've been doing it every year for the past 50 years because of that one time, that I find stupid. Like,
like one person gets a dirty fork every year because one time it happened and it's and like
it fell on the floor and the dog stepped on it or something like that and it was super funny. So now it's like every single year and it's like, what the fuck, man?
That's
just like I
stupid
feel
as
like
hell.
to take it even deeper. I find like Easter and Christmas and most holidays, those are just traditions and they're just bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Before I had a kid, it was like I couldn't be bothered. Like Christmas is just fucking stupid.
I love stuffing. So every holiday I have multiple dinners.
I was one of the people that went out of their way to work on Christmas because like everyone else wants to. It's like I'm just gonna make money, man. Fuck all this. Now that I have a kid, it's like okay, no, I see the magic that he sees through it, and I'm kind of like okay, let's make it a little bit special for him, and that kind of brings in the joy back to me. So it's like it's kind of fun being festive.
Well,
but I don't give a shit.
Most of these holidays, if not all of these holidays, are just some like Christmas tradition, or sorry, some Christian tradition.
Yeah, pagan holidays basically for children.
And I'm sitting here like, I ain't religious. I don't give a shit about most of the meanings behind these special days. And yeah, you look at like we live like right next door to a church, a pretty big one. Yeah, and these holidays, like they're going crazy over there. We live in a very religious town here.
Yeah,
but
okay, so like
nah.
Easter is this huge tradition. No one knows what the fuck it is.
I don't give a shit.
No, it's like it's geared towards children and it's like just bunnies shit out chocolate eggs. That's really
Hundreds
cool.
of years ago, bunnies were really hard to find.
Yeah.
And they had to teach the children how to find them. And this is the one day
chocolate.
that they would come out. So that's how you did it.
So like that's fucked. Like I just find that insane that we live in this society where we're just like pushing these agendas that are like completely make believe and like they don't even reference the original tradition. Like that's bizarre.
I like the idea.
The original tradition is almost more bullshit than finding chocolate bunnies.
Yeah, and then that comes down to like it's just trying to capitalize on this thing where it's like okay, it was like super Christian and like there was this belief system behind it. And then it's like, okay, how do we transition that to make sure that it's like sustainable into the future?
Yeah,
in case
places like Hallmark still need to make a profit.
Yeah. How do we make this more?
Yeah, how do we turn
applicable?
this into a business?
Yeah.
This is no longer a hobby. It's a business.
All of a sudden,
Easter,
Santa's owned by Coca-Cola.
With Easter, I like the idea of like when you have a bunch of kids, like my parents have so many grandkids at this point. It's like a little army of kids. It's fun for them to like set up like an Easter egg hunt because there's so many kids that have to participate because they're all part of the family. But like you said, I don't have kids. It's just me and my lady living here. If I had chocolate around the house, it would stay there all year because she'd be like, why didn't you just put it in a bowl on the table? Why do I have to go over there just to get one? I don't even care about it that much. I don't like chocolate
Just goes to the
much.
store and buys chocolate herself.
Yeah, she's
Easier.
she's like, fuck you. Go find your own chocolate. Hope you remember where you put it all.
Yeah.
Don't want to get ants. Now I have to go out here trying to remember it. Nah. It's such a waste of time. Honestly, the thing with Easter too, it's like, removing myself from even that part. What if I don't really want a day where I just binge on chocolate, like, a mother trying to lose weight, and then all of a sudden you just have that one day where you have to eat a pound of chocolate? I can't eat that much chocolate.
This shit ain't about you. This is about me. This is about us. We all get together. We eat our Thanksgiving dinner. We eat our turkey dinner on Easter. We have our fucking breakfast at Christmas. If you don't want to eat chocolate, don't eat the chocolate.
Kyle is a man of values. Dustin.
Yes.
Don't fuck with his values.
If a tradition is for everybody, if you don't want to be a part of it, don't be a part of it. If somebody hides a bunch of chocolate and you're like, I don't want to eat chocolate, don't find the chocolate. Let somebody else find the
Just got a
chocolate.
great point.
This is all easily stopped.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. It's fine.
From traditions, I understand the idea of, again, using it as an excuse to get all of these kids together and like a little family moment where all of these kids get to go out and look for chocolate. Parents kind of get to hang out too, watch the kids. Everyone has a good time on that one day. I understand that. That's a nice understanding of what traditions are. But yeah, what bugs me is you take it a step before that of like, why are we doing it in the first place? Like, what the fuck? The fact that it's here and it's an excuse to do it, okay, I get it. That's kind of cool. But man, why? Why?
Waste of time.
I can 100% see why anybody that's not white would have a problem with every single like holiday that we have. None of them are really based on good things for anybody else. But for me, it just
when you say white, do you mean Christian or do you specifically mean white people?
Like realistically,
I mean, like, there's a
white
lot
people made
of
most
Christians
of
that aren't white.
White people made most of the stupid reasons for having them, like Thanksgiving. It's obviously a terrible holiday. It's not. It's based
Actually,
off
with
of
Thanksgiving. White people didn't do.
Did we not have the dinner?
Didn't the natives brought the peace offering, wasn't it?
Yes, and then we fucked them up. We did something terrible and ruined that peace offering. That's what I'm saying. We're celebrating the day that we did something terrible.
A date of colonization.
Yeah, it's a terrible day, and we were like, no, but we didn't do that till after we all ate dinner. We all had a real happy dinner, so let's keep that part.
Well,
let's
they didn't
forget
want the food
about
to
the
get
rest.
cold.
I feel like it's
Kyle.
the opposite. I feel like it's like we just destroyed everything in your community forever. But hey, let's have some dinner.
Exactly.
We'll feed you a little bit. And
Exactly.
okay.
So I can 100% see why anybody that was on the other side of the literal table is like, I don't want to celebrate this day.
Yeah.
And I get that.
We destroyed your entire people's culture. But hey, every year you get a turkey.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
I feel like by bringing it back to this whole like historical thing, we took this to a really dark
And
place.
this is what I'm
I know,
saying.
right?
And it's really
This is
fucked
why
up.
I'm saying, don't look into it. Just eat your damn meal. Eat your meal, drink your beer,
All
have a
Kyle's
couple
saying
joints, and keep going.
Is he likes to get buzzed and eat a turkey dinner. That's what Kyle's trying to say.
And
Ignore
yes.
all the marginally offensive things that kind of came from that conversation.
Okay.
The one thing though I will kind of bring back to what you said earlier though, if traditions are like, yeah, we're eating this, I'm not talking about the turkey or the mashed potatoes, but like say your mom makes this like whatever pie and it's fucking vile. If it's tradition that she has to slave over this pie, we have to eat this pie to humor her. Maybe that was cool when whoever made the pie the first time and liked it was alive, but they're not anymore.
Yeah. How do you transition out of traditions?
Yeah, it takes like 25 years of pent up anger and one day of somebody just
Honest.
freaking out, and the mom's like,
Snap.
I don't like this pie either. I thought you guys loved it. I don't even like baking.
But you know what? Some parents are delusional. Like my parents, sometimes they're still like, do you want this thing? Ew, fucking no. What do you mean? You've always... No, I fucking didn't. What are you talking about? My parents have been trying to convince me that I like mushrooms since I was like 7. Like as long as I
man.
can remember. I've never fucking liked mushrooms. I
My
still don't.
fucking mom to this day, every time, maybe not every time, but like if it's like this casual situation where it's like, hey, going to the store, hey, can you grab me a chocolate bar? My fucking favorite chocolate bar my entire life has been cookies and cream. I love it. She gets me like fucking O. Henry's or like just some random bullshit like Kit Kat or like the chocolate bars that my dad likes and my mom likes. That's what she gets me. And I fucking hate it. So mom, I fucking want cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream, no
not
matter
O.
what.
Henry's.
What
C's
are...
and C's.
Do you guys have any traditions that were in your family that we haven't already mentioned? Because obviously the sleeping in one's, or not even sleeping, hiding in your room one's kind of troll. Do you have any other traditions that you either hated or were just weird that other people probably don't have?
See, I don't think so. I had a pretty small family, so we really didn't have too many traditions. The one nice thing, like what I do like about Christmas is it doesn't matter about the chaos before Christmas Day or the chaos that happens after Christmas Day. Christmas Day is always a nice day. Yeah. And that's the one thing I like. So I guess a tradition that I like about Christmas is it's the one day where you just kind of hang out and
Be in a good mood.
Yeah, and just have zero expectations, right?
That only happens when you have a small family, not when you have a big family and everyone's got passive aggressive energy.
Right? Yeah, so that's my tradition. The one time a year where I just get to like enjoy quality time with my family.
Kyle, go ahead.
Pretty much the same. Like I don't really have that many bad. I don't really have bad traditions. Maybe I don't look for them and I just don't see them because I just love Christmas, so I just ignore all the bad parts. But I guess the closest would be before we had the girls, because obviously both of our parents are split up. So Christmas morning, we wake up 7:30, 8, get our stockings, have breakfast, probably around 9:30, 10. It's fucking Hot Wheels time. We're driving to this place. We're going to the this, out to Burnaby to the other side of the family. And like 4 or 5 o'clock, we finally get to the last spot. And it's like a sit down. And now it's like, okay, I can have my drinks. I can have my relax. Those were stressful years. It was like, I love Christmas. And once I get to each location, it was like fantastic. I'm all about the party. But then not having any drinks while I'm there and just socializing sober all day on my day, my favorite day, and I'm being sober for the entire time. I feel like it's all about liquor for me. I'm hearing a trend as I say this, and there's a reason most of my family gets sobriety chips every year.
A new one every year because you got drunk on Christmas again. Everyone shows up to Christmas with like 1 year.
That's my tradition.
Oh, throw it into a fountain somewhere.
They play fucking coins.
Yeah, there it is.
Quarters.
Oh, man.
That's too much. Okay, so kind of going on my part of that question. So like I said, I kind of have like a relatively big family, at least compared to most people.
You guys own a street, basically.
I mean, yeah, there's like 3 houses on the same road, but regardless. So I have...
Wait. Your mom owned like a literal van, didn't she? Like
that's my
like
sister.
A bus. Oh, okay.
My sister,
yeah, that's
she has
what,
it's like a shuttle bus from like an airport. It's like the same thing.
That's how we used to get to and from Vancouver.
Yeah, we used to like get the boys. We'd go to Vancouver and that, and I would just like shuttle everybody to and from the club.
I know you did that for me once.
Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, that was a good time.
It was great.
We had a great time that night.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. That was wild. Anyways, so I have my parents. I have 3 sisters, and amongst those 3 sisters, I have like 6 nephews, a niece, and like 3 or 4 other kids, depending on who my other sister's dating at the time. And they, that was pretty rude, to be honest. It's been pretty consistent, like the same kids for the bulk of my life. I'm just kind of talking shit. I thought it was funny.
I love it. I love it.
Kidding.
There's only a couple shots.
It was mostly only the same 2 kids for years. Now there's like 3, I think. But regardless, so there's kids from that family, because that's the other thing. Depending on who's in our lives, we bring all of the families. So like my one sister, she lives with her friends, and they kind of have their own family out there. They bring everybody, and then my 2 other sisters, they have all their kids and everything. And so like everybody coming in, sometimes there's like 15 to 20 people in the house. And so Christmas for me
that is so stressful.
Is exhausting.
Yeah.
Exhausting. So this idea of, first off, the one tradition I was going to bitch about is that I have to be there right at 6 a.m. What the fuck, Mom? Never happening. Like, I always have an excuse of why I can't be there at 6 a.m.
Yeah, because you went to bed at 4:30.
They've been like texting me all morning. The kids are up. When are you coming? Like now they just kind of like start shit without me because I'm just like, I'm not coming for 6 a.m. Like it's just not a thing. I know that I probably started that tradition because I was that kid that I was the baby of the family. I would wake up at 6 a.m. on Christmas, be like, yo, give me these fucking presents, bitch. Yeah. Like I was like aggressive. I would like run into their room and like drop an elbow on my parents to wake them up on Christmas morning. Like I was definitely that kid.
You've turned into much more of a brunch guy.
Yeah, definitely. And so me getting to my parents' house, I'm like, yeah, I know it's like 11:30, guys, but like it's still Christmas morning. Like give me some OJ and a bagel, like whatever. But it's exhausting. The kids are so fucking loud. It's usually cold, so none of them are playing outside. They're all in the living room. They all want to fight me because I'm the heavyweight champion of our family. And I'm just like, I'm going to dummy all of you, but now I'm gonna break a sweat because there's like 8 of you fighting me at once. It's tough. My oldest nephew's in college too, so like I can't really fight him anymore. And he doesn't usually take my side because of all the years of abuse that I've given him, but like It's that. It's the loudness and the obnoxious amount of children that my sisters have brought into this world.
I can't believe there's so many people in my house that just want to play with me and see me the entire day. They just want to feed me and give me gifts and give me love. They just enjoy my presence.
So
it's so exhausting.
I'm such an asshole.
Having everybody love me.
I mean, okay,
This
so here's my
fucking
experience.
boy.
So I'm from a pretty small family, and there's been years where I'm like with a much larger family for Christmas. And it's very stressful for me. Like, it's like I enjoy being quiet. I enjoy like eating my dinner. I enjoy quality time with family where we're not expected to talk to each other. I don't mean like you're over there, I'm over here,
yeah.
don't talk to me, right? But it's like it's nice just having that solitude with your family in the same room as you. That's what I enjoy. But when I go to families, really big families, and everyone's talking to each other, and then the focus turns to me of why I'm not participating in their actions. Of like, oh, why are you so quiet? Oh, like, is everything okay? Are you enjoying your food? Is your food okay? And it's like, please stop this, take this attention off of me. I'm enjoying this food. I'm enjoying listening to all of you, and I'm in a pretty happy place. But now I'm perceived as the negative person, and I'm perceived as the Grinch because I'm not
Because you're the
participating
Grinch.
as much as everyone else, right?
And now your anxiety spiking because 12 people are just looking at you.
Literally.
Everyone stops their side conversation, even though there's like 5 side conversations because that one person on the other side of the table said something. All side conversations stop and everyone just looks at you.
Just a shift.
And you know what? That's definitely happened to my girlfriend. And that's the other reason why she has a hard time with big family.
Yeah.
Because she also has a relatively small family. So compared to my family, it's like literally obnoxious.
Yeah.
I can totally understand why that's just like the worst.
Just thinking about it gives me anxiety. But then it's like
the worst.
to decline things like that. Again, I'm perceived as the person who doesn't enjoy Christmas. And it's like, I love Christmas. It's fun. It's fun being with other people. But if you're going to expect me to behave and act a certain way on that day in order to be able to participate, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that's also frustrating. Just expectations in general. Those kind of expectations are frustrating.
See, I take them from everybody. I hope that people like you guys show up so that there's 2 people not talking and not getting in my way of being the center of attention. The second somebody starts talking to you and I see you being uncomfortable, I'll just take them away and start talking about whatever the entire day. It's a fight
Come over here.
between
Come check out my rock collection.
It's my
me,
day. Where's
my dad,
turkey?
and my kids. I have to fight all of them to get the attention. My kids take it all now. People don't even say hi to me anymore, and I have to like really bring it out to get people to talk. But yeah, I completely see what you guys are saying. It's annoying when somebody puts you into the position, but like when people like you're there, it's like, okay, that person can sit, chill, have some drinks, do whatever. I'm gonna be right here. I'm cool.
Yeah. I feel like other people, like, again, talking from my own experience, when other people see me not enjoying the festives as much or in the same way that they are, that's what bugs me, where it's like, can you please leave me alone?
Yeah.
I'm here. That means I'm enjoying myself. If I wasn't enjoying this, I would not be here.
Someone at work the other day asked me, "Oh my God, did you set up your Christmas tree?" And I was like, "I don't do a Christmas tree. Why would I put a Christmas tree in here for just me and my lady?
For Christmas.
No, it's a lot. This was the
It's
first
such a
year.
pain in the
This was the
ass.
first year I ever bought a Christmas tree
It's
for
such a
my
pain in the
apartment, and I
ass.
was so
We're
pissed
getting
about
a
it.
second one, and we've got a little one for the kids, and we got one for their grandma so that they can make it with them. You guys just don't like happiness. Christmas just makes me feel happy. I look at the tree, I turn in the lights, and it's like,
See, this is what I really think of when it's the holidays, especially as like a dad. In order for my son to be able to enjoy it, I have to be this scheduling gatekeeper of like, okay, now we have to be over here, and now we have to be over here, and now we have to be over here. And it's just this nonstop organizational chaos of like, yeah, this isn't for me, it's for my son. And that's really stressful, where it's like, I'm happy to do it, and I'm happy to see my son see all this magic and enjoy himself so much. But in order for him to be able to do that, it's a lot of work from my perspective, right? And that's the part that also is like, oh man, it's just
so much work.
Yeah.
And I know that my family has a big ass Christmas tree and all the presents are under the tree, and they did all that work because they love it. Why would I set that up here? We're not having Christmas at my house. That's so much to clean up, especially if you get a real tree. The one time we got a real tree here, the amount of shit I had to sweep up off the floor every single day. We have 3 cats, and all these motherfuckers would climb that shit for days. They would eat the fucking leaves. Like, it would just be terrible.
Yeah.
And it's such a pain in the ass.
Here's a tradition, actually. I feel like most people from like the 90s will probably have this general tradition. But you go out and find the perfect Christmas tree to cut down.
A lot of people do that.
You do that at all when you were younger?
I used to, but Brittany is her friend once had a real Christmas tree and they brought it in the house and there was a spider nest in it and Brittany's terrified of spiders. So we can't ever have a real Christmas tree again. But so, I love what you're saying.
So yeah, and also so my mom's birthday is December 14th. Which was actually yesterday. So happy birthday, Mom. But we always
missed it.
You're getting this message on Christmas.
A week later.
But yeah, no. So our a tradition would December 14th, we would always go out and find like the perfect Christmas tree. It was kind of fun, right? It's like, let's find the perfect one. But then as the years go on and Christmas trees keep getting more expensive, and then it kind of becomes tedious, and it's just like, okay, we've been out here for an hour. Christmas trees are twice the cost that they used to be, but hey, we get a free cup of hot chocolate. Ooh, wow.
Sick.
And we're still looking for a stupid tree just to be able to get it in the house, right? And then it became this thing where it's like, oh, okay, now we have to do it every year, and it's this thing that keeps happening, and I don't even know if anyone's really enjoying it, but it's just to get over it kind of thing, right? To get past it because we have to do it.
I would do a fake tree. I do a half tree. If anyone's ever had a half tree, it takes up so much less space because you don't have to worry about the whole backside decorating that you never even see, or all that empty space because it's a square and it's a circle.
I'm thinking of like a muffin and you peel the top off, and I'm like, why the fuck would you do a half tree?
No, it's like
I was thinking the exact same thing. I'm like,
just cross section. It was like, yeah. That sounds like the stupidest tree ever.
It's a flat back.
If you cut the bottom off, that's still a tree, Dustin. What do you mean? This isn't adding up. The math's not here.
A weird tree with just like a flat top.
Yeah.
We put our coffee on it. It's underneath our
It's just it's more progressive, you know?
No, like a half. It's like down
I get you now.
Flat on one side, round on the other. You put it up against the wall, and then you can just decorate the front of it, put things under it, and it takes up less space. Bad. It's clean. It's easy. If I was going to do a tree, that's what I would do. But honestly, like I said, it's so much easier to go to my parents' house or whatever, see their tree that they put work into, and then leave when we want to. And
wow.
Like,
so nice.
No cleanup necessary. We're great. Like we're doing just fine. This is back to Easter though. The one tradition that we had in my family that was kind of weird, and it was only really relative to me, was so when I was a kid, I was diagnosed with epilepsy, and it's one of those things that like it kind of affected me when I was a kid, but it doesn't really. I don't think I even have epilepsy anymore. It's like a weird thing that somehow you can grow out of it. I don't know. But apparently my mom had it when she was younger. She grew out of
epilepsy is a weird thing.
And I had it when I was a kid. I don't have it anymore. But one of the things that the doctors told me when I was going through my recovery and like treatment for it was that I wasn't supposed to have certain things like caffeine. And so because I wasn't supposed to have caffeine, that meant I didn't eat dark like milk chocolate for a good portion of my childhood at all. So what do you do on Easter? Well, my tradition, my parents always made my Easter basket for me, was that I got pizza Pringles.
What?
And you know what? I still fucking love pizza Pringles to this day. That's like one of my favorite chips ever. But it's so weird and random that like who else? I mean, I'm sure there's some like dairy-free kid out there that's got a similar kind of tradition.
I'm sure in the 21st century,
there's tons of people that can't have dairy these days.
Yeah.
But it was just like a weird
kale
thing
under your bed or something.
Yeah, that might be like a big reason why you don't really feel that same nostalgia, because like at Christmas time you probably didn't have an advent calendar either. So you have like, even though it's a tiny little insignificant chocolate, but like every single morning you get a chocolate. You're not supposed to have chocolate in the morning, but it's Christmas, so you get that little thing. So I think that's what I'm doing. I'm forcing my kids to love it.
Behind holidays is directly related to how much work your parents put in when you're kids. That's what I feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
sorry, future kids.
Yeah. So like for me, like I don't care that much about these holidays. Again, traditions are just stupid, but it's nice being able to have my son see that magic. So it's like, I'll put that work into it, right? And hopefully he can kind of carry that forward with his son. But like, yeah, man, I feel like it's trying to think of like all three of our childhoods and like how we came to be with our own opinions. It really seems to make sense where like more than likely your parents were probably really into Christmas and they put in a lot of work into like the festivities of it all, right?
You only have one brother too.
It was very chaotic. But yeah, it was only one brother, but it was a lot of. I think the main thing is that we always traveled to different houses on Christmas. So we'd go to the grandma's, we go to this grandpa, we go there. So it was a lot of I see my entire family that day, whereas I don't normally see them all like as often as I did. So I think that's my main one, is just being able to see family.
Yeah. And Matt, did you have siblings, or is it just
I have one younger sister, which like, man, I rarely talk to her. It's not even a thing where it's like we don't like each other or anything like that. It's just like we rarely ever speak. She moved out to the East Coast, and she was doing she's, I think, finished by now, but doing her master's degree out there. And she's doing a lot for herself, but I just never talk to her. And then I've got like my grandpa on my dad's side. He lives in Toronto. I think I have maybe talked to him maybe 4 times in my whole life.
Wow.
Yeah. And
That's
then
fair.
like my aunt on my mom's side, I've seen her a handful of times throughout my life, but again, not that much. Like, she lives in the States. It's always like a big ordeal in order to see each other, right? So it's only been a couple of times.
Yeah.
So my family is pretty spaced out, and we don't connect very often.
That's fair. I have like a decent amount of extended family like in the Okanagan, but I have enough family at home because, like I said, parents, 3 sisters, and my oldest sister has had at least one child since I was 10 years old. So there's been grandkids as well since I was 10 years old. And every other year there's another one for a while there. So like I said, we're up to like, including my other sister too, we're up to like 6, I think.
Yeah, every
7.
Christmas card had a +1 at the bottom of it.
6 boys, 1 girl. So that's how many grandkids are there now. So like for me, it's been exhausting. Family get-togethers are exhausting.